Hello everyone, this video is for if you missed our class on November 16th or 17th. What we did today was go over a couple announcements, do a brain dump activity, do the going virtual Google form, and then we finished with just some time to work on the DNA mutations practice in class, because last week we started it and did a couple together, but I did not give you sufficient time in class to finish it, and I wanted to make sure that you did get enough time in class to finish it. As far as the announcements go, starting on Wednesday until Friday, I will open up quick quiz number 4. In this quiz, we will cover DNA and RNA structure, DNA replication, and protein synthesis. Pretty much everything we've been talking about since the start of the term. I will give you time in class to do this quiz, just to make sure that you do have time to get it done and in before we go fully virtual. Speaking of which, that is my second announcement, though at this point it's not much of a surprise to anyone that starting next week we'll be going 100% virtual. We will still be meeting on Zoom every day, every class period, just like normal, but you won't be coming to class on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. The first activity I wanted to do was the brain dump. So the first two things we did today actually were not biology related at all. So they're going to be found in kind of a different spot. So once you go to modules, like every other time, you won't go all the way down to Unit 4. You'll actually go scroll back up, and the first module that I have here is general information. It'll be found under that. And then there's a little header that has today's date and then the links that we'll do today. So I started with the brain dump because it was a timed activity. So essentially here, what I'm trying to do is give you all the opportunity to try something new if you haven't done something like this before. This kind of came from a place of concern because there's a lot of stuff going on, and I know not everyone's a huge fan of virtual, and we're still kind of doing this school thing during a global pandemic, and there's a lot of things that are really stressful, potentially, that you might be worried about. And oftentimes I feel like we don't have a great way to express those feelings. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to do that here with absolutely no judgment whatsoever. So what I would suggest first is to pull up some relaxing music, anything that you vibe with. Get into a comfortable location. So if you're doing this, if you haven't done it in class, you're probably doing this at home. So find a comfortable place, your bed, a really comfy chair that you like, the couch, pretty much anywhere. And then just set aside 10 to 15 minutes to do this. Just where you're going to sit down and not think of anything else. You're just going to do this. And the only thing I want you to do is write down every thought that comes to mind. And here it gives you some examples. So if you have any things on your to-do list, any feelings, situations that need to be handled, any reminders, stressors, anxieties, proud feelings, exciting events coming up, literally anything. Keep it simple and don't overthink. Don't think about what you're going to write down, just do it. Let your mind wander where it wants to wander and record everything. And you can record it in bullets or in sentences, whatever works for you. This is not an English essay that I'm going to judge you based off of your organizational skills. If you start with one idea and it kind of goes off to something else, that's perfectly fine and part of the process. It's no big deal at all. So you can do it on a scrap sheet of paper and take a picture, do it in a Google Doc and share it, or a text entry box. It doesn't really matter. This is more so for you, and I hope that this might be something that you find helpful to do in the future. Once we're done with the brain dump, we are now going to do the Going Virtual Google form. So you'll find this around the same spot that you found the brain dump. So first module, here's brain dump. So it's going to be one of these two. It really depends on what class you have me for. If you are one of my Green Day classes, click on this link. If you're a Red Day, click on this link. It just helps me keep them organized. So what you'll do is you can keep it in this, or you can open it in a new tab, really whatever works for you. And I just ask you a few questions that might help me better serve you as we switch to being 100% virtual. So the first few questions are pretty typical. What's your name? What period do you have me? Your current school schedule. And then, do you have all proper equipment to go virtual? And if not, what do you need? Because I want to make sure you are prepared before we get started. What is your biggest concern going 100% virtual? How long do you typically spend on assignments in class and outside of class? How do you feel with your current workload? What's your learning preference? So asynchronous just means that you like being given an assignment and a deadline, but you like being able to do it whenever you want on your own at your own pace. Synchronous learning is more like when we meet on Zoom, and I give you an assignment and we kind of work together to get it done. Do you feel comfortable reaching out to your teachers? What are some things that you do to make sure you're paying attention and getting work done? How can I specifically help you succeed during virtual learning? And talking about how can I best teach you the content and make sure that you complete the work. Do you think you'll use Fridays to get additional help if you need it? And let me know if you have any other concerns. I just kind of want to know what's going on in your head and what I can do to help. The last thing that we did today was work on that DNA mutations practice. Now this is biology related, so it'll be all the way in Unit 4 down here, and it'll be the last one because we did start it last week. And if you weren't there last week or still kind of confused, I do have this video in here that it's the whole lesson, but I did make it so it starts at the part where I explained this assignment. Here are the directions. I gave you some codon charts, and that's how we spent our day. Please let me know if you have any questions over anything. Don't hesitate to send me an email or a Canvas message. Hope you all have a great rest of your day.